Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to The Actor's Choice, brought to you by Photography as an Art, Harvey Brandman, Master Photographer, located at 1307 North San Fernando Boulevard, Burbank, California. Attorney Ron Irwin's book, Haiku, Style, Passion, Heart. Author Larry Buford's book, To the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule. State Farm agent Carla Green, and veteran actor Rob Brownstein's Actor Training School and Actor Space. Roll it, Tony.
Y'all ready for this? Memphis. We're rocking in Memphis. New York City never sleeps, but I need to hear that rebel beat. Everybody's moving too fast. I gotta slow down, make it last. Muddy Mississippi calls my name. In my heart, I'm just Southern.
Actress. And when you put the two together, man, you gonna see that she's out of sight. She goes by her love of music and entertainment naturally. Today, she'll tell you about her unique blend of soulful music, earthy vocals, and comedy has captivated audiences worldwide. It is with great pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the lovely, the marvelous Shelley Fisher. Hi, Shelley. Greetings.
Hi, Ron. How are you? Thank you for inviting me to be on your wonderful show this morning.
My pleasure. Welcome to The Actor's Choice. First of all, please tell us, where were you born and raised at? That makes a big difference there.
Thank you for asking me, Ron. I was born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis T, they call it.
That's home of the blues and birthplace of rock and roll and Elvis. Not quite his birthplace, but he made his name in my hometown.
Indeed, indeed. What was it like growing up there?
Well, it was a great little hometown, I thought. You know, everything in life is hard to answer in just one question, because we had the marvelous vista of the Mississippi River, which truly captivated me from a very early age. And rising out of the Mississippi River, 1 mile east was Beale Street.
Beale Street, been there.
Beale Street, the home. When were you there?
I was there in 1965, 66, 67, and 68. I was there when Dr. King got killed.
That was a terrible experience. I don't know if we want to go into deep depth, but I also was there as well. And that is a day you never want to repeat again. And hopefully there was some good change that came out of his death.
Yes.
But growing up there, having the opportunity to listen to the music of Beale Street. And a lot of times those people, mostly there was bluesmen, played out in the street. So this was a wonderful opportunity for me because they were very gracious and they'd say, come on, darling, you want to sing one? And I always did. I was too young to have fear. I figured, yeah, I can sing. I did it. And it was a great training ground for me. My mother, Frida, was also a singer, comedian, and she sang all over the East Coast in the 40s. She was a fairly well-known blues artist and songwriter. My father was a concert violinist from Russia and played with the Memphis Symphony Orchestra, and he was co-founder of the Memphis Symphony Orchestra, played first string violin. So I had a wonderful time growing up in Memphis. Sorry to say there's also some negativity, because growing up Jewish in the redneck South was not exactly the most welcome thing on earth. Then at an early age, I have to say that I did learn about segregation, which was just awful at an early age. But my heritage was very rich. And what else you want to know?
Well, you left Memphis for a little bit, went to UCLA, got a degree and recorded. You had a chance to record your first solo album on Fantasy Records.
Boy, you did your homework. I sure did. Are you from Memphis?
No, I'm from my mother.
Okay, where were you born and raised?
No, I'm serious. That's a joke. I was born and raised in New York City.
Well, you know, you're very international in the way you present yourself, but
Thank you.
there ain't no flies on New York City either.
No, born in Harlem, so it really was a real interesting way to grow up.
That had to be fascinating and very different from my hometown.
Yes. Now you're in the business. You're in the business now. You got a record out. You started meeting and greeting a lot of folks in this business. Here's a picture of a gentleman. I think we showed it a moment ago. Would you show him again? He's called Elvis the Pelvis. Did you know that young man?
I did know Elvis Presley. I'm now giving away some of my age.
That's okay.
Well, Memphis truly did Elvis put Memphis on the map. And I had the miraculous opportunity of flying as Elvis's personal guest from Memphis to Los Angeles many years ago. And I tell you, flying with Elvis did change my life.
I know it did.
Yes, it did.
You also studied under some good folks, especially the favorite piano player of Billie Holiday. I'm talking about Phil Moore.
You've got a good, you listen to everything I say.
Oh, yeah.
I probably don't forget it either. So I might not tell you so many things anymore. Yes, I had the opportunity. This is now jumping quite a few years ahead from Memphis to Los Angeles. Several years ago, I had the opportunity to study in a performance workshop with the legendary Phil Moore, who was one of Billie Holiday's favorite piano players. And he had some great advice with his wife, Jeannie. And he said, you better be great, because he said, people don't want to pay to see nothing anyway. And you haven't got a shot if you are not great. So don't strive to be good, because good won't get you paid a nickel. If you're great, you might get a dime.
Good advice. Good advice. Now, here's another person also in the business. Did you ever meet her? I'm talking about Dolly Parton.
You know, people have made a comparison to us before, but honey, this ain't no wig. This is my real hair. And she is a great, great artist and an inspiration somewhat. But being that I'm from Memphis, I feel that my sound is a lot more indigenous of the mountainous area of Tennessee. So that my sound, I think, represents from my mother, who I thought was a great torch singer. So I do appreciate the comparison, and I wish Dolly all the best. But this other person talking to you right now is Shelley from Memphis.
Yes. Now, she's a homegirl. She came from Nashville.
Did she?
Yes, she's out of Nashville.
Well, I don't know where she's from. You know, I met her one time at an event, and people always do stop me and ask me if I am Dolly Parton, but I am not at this time.
Shelley, you rocked the disco charts with a hit rendition of Wonder Woman, and you wrote the sequel to Rick Dees' Disco Duck.
Yes, I did, and it was a lot of fun writing that because I got to meet Rick actually in Memphis. And then when he came out here to promote Disco Duck, somebody set me up to meet him. Actually, a guy called Willie Hall, who was a drummer for the newly formed Booker T and the MGs. And I was good friends with Steve Cropper. So things sort of fell into place, which was very, very exciting.
Good. Now, how about that romantic comedy cooking show that you did?
Oh, thank you for asking, because this time of quarantine, which we're all going through due to COVID-19, has precipitated a lot of eating at home. And it has called upon my culinary skills. Now, the basis of foreplay, however, is food to put you in the mood for life and love, Ron. So all the dishes that I make, be that I'm really not a professional chef. See, I'm the kind of gal that you say, Shelley, what are you making for dinner? I'm going to say, I'm making me some reservations. But I realized my mama was right when she said to me, Shelley, kissing don't last, cooking do. So I created some fun, easy, sensual recipes. And this has been a good period because you do want to economize on what you're putting together, because a lot of us don't get out that much to the grocery store. I'm lucky my partner is really good at that type of thing. And he's actually a good cook too, and has worked with me on fork play. And we have some dishes like, well, I must say I do love sweets. and other things. So I created a shrimp dish called Shrimp Spanky, lightly battered, and that's a good dish. And I have become leaning towards more the vegan way. So now we have a dish we call Got Mushroom Left, like mushroom. Well, anyway, which actually we're going to be making Wednesday night. Did you know it's going to be my actual birthday?
Is that right?
It is. I can't, I won't tell you that.
Surprise you and tell you about it.
Pardon me?
I was going to surprise you and tell you about it.
Well, okay. Well, I was telling you about it because I want these people to check me out.
All right.
Okay.
You know, Shelley, when you take a diamond in the rough, you work on it, you polish it, you do all you can, and now you're ready for the show we all love, the Hebrew Hillbilly, 50 Shades of, here I go, Oy vey!
You did it. Are you Jewish?
I wish I was.
Well, you know what? We have a lot in common.
Yes, ma'am.
I believe we both have a lot of soul and are very down to earth. And I'm here in my home. I got to tell you, this is one of the first shows.
Beautiful flowers there, beautiful flowers.
Well, you know what? My partner Alec gave them to me for Mother's Day, which I truly appreciate. And over here to my right, I don't know whether your camera's picking up, my daughter made her very own arrangement. My daughter is called Missy Pekin, and she's such a talented young lady. She's also my acting coach. And I don't know whether she's watching or not, but hopefully she is. She made this fantastic arrangement that's down here to my right, which I cherish.
And this show has made you, this Hebrew Hillbilly has made you popular. When you took that show everywhere, I mean, we just showed a poster a moment ago of when you were in New York City. What was it like to be traveling around the country like that?
Well, I'm still traveling, mainly in my house right now, but it's very, very exciting because this is a story that's autobiographical, Ron, and it's about my life. It's a true story. And it takes you from when I'm a little girl till the time that I am right now. And I do appreciate you not asking me my age, because you can't ask me my age, but you
never ask a woman her age, never.
But Ron, if you want to, you could ask me, you could say, Shelley, what's your sign?
Shelley, what's your sign?
Well, thank you for asking. It's somewhere between stop and dollar. If the dollar's big enough, I stop.
Shelley, I like when you drop those jokes on folks. I love it. I love it. There's one venue that has stood by you for many, many years. That is the renowned Santa Monica Playhouse. When did you first start there?
Oh, gee, thank you for asking. And I hope the people reach out and help the Santa Monica Playhouse, as well as the entire arts community, because we are definitely suffering. We are shut down with the shelter-in-place order. And I started, my very first show was January the 26th, 2013 at Santa Monica Playhouse. And I've been going back there, well, for 8 years. And hopefully I'll get to do my next show, which is scheduled for June 28th as a fundraiser for Santa Monica Playhouse, because I love working with the proprietors, the co-artistic directors, Evelyn Rudy, and her actual husband, Chris DiCarlo. We've been at the Santa Monica Playhouse for over 3 years. And on June 28th, we hope we'll be able to kick off the 60th year of constant performing at Santa Monica Playhouse. So it's been a lot of fun, but I can't hear you now. What happened?
We lost sound for just a second. That's something that happens with the equipment.
You look good.
Thank you. And so look who's talking. Look who's talking. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've never had a chance to go down to the Playhouse and see this lady up on the stage, first of all, the place is packed. You can't get in. She has to reserve a seat for you in order for you to get in. That's the only way you're going to get in. It is quite an event, but since it's on show on hold right now because of COVID-19. How did you react to hearing that it was going to close and you couldn't be able to work?
I think it was a universally resounding, you're kidding me.
Yes.
However, we've had so much exposure to the dire truth of this terrible disease that I really feel that you, by doing your show virtually, they say, you don't have to be in the room, just Zoom. That's it. And my partner created another one. I'm going to save it for my birthday party. Y'all can find me somewhere on the net, 6 p.m. Monday the 13th, May 13th. That's my birthday all day. And can I give a shout out to my sister Gail, Dr. Gail Robinson? Her birthday is today, and we're very close in age. So that's been a very interesting dynamic. But I think that I was devastated. The whole community is devastated. I don't think anybody that I've ever met got into show business or the creative performing arts for any other reason than we have a passion to express ourselves and perform to other people. So when this happened, it shut us down. And that some people say everything happens for a reason. I don't want to get into the philosophy of it, but when the going gets rough, the rough gets going. And Ron, from having the opportunity to know you for quite a while, I know that you have a military background. How do you think that's affected your tenacity to keep on going?
Get that paycheck once you retire. Get that paycheck.
Yeah, boy. Well, whatever you did, you're doing still great and moving on forward. And I'm looking forward to performing any way I can, because I'm a singer-songwriter. This particular show, The Hebrew Hillbilly, does have 17 original songs that I wrote with 3 different co-writers. And they are Kenny Hirsch, who's a big popular songwriter, Harold Payne, who's also a wonderful songwriter, and my newest song, I Want to Win a Grammy Before I Am a Grammy, and who knows when that could be. But as a woman, I'm ready. I've got a beautiful daughter married to a wonderful young man, and I'm ready.
Okay. You have never been one to let it get you down. So you and your beautiful daughter, Missy Pekin, put a song together. And would you tell us about the title? It's called What Made Love Lift You Up?
Thank you. But it's Love Will Lift You Up. Because I actually did write it with Harold Payne for my show, The Hebrew Hillbilly. And I wrote it to encourage people because my father, Max, died when I was 12 years old. He was only 45. And I wrote it about that terrible day. And I do believe that there are angels all around. And this song addresses that fact that when we have a force that's beyond control, we really have to dig deep to our highest self to be able to encourage ourselves. And Ron, don't you feel when you can encourage yourself, you can encourage others?
Yes, yes.
So Missy and I felt that this song, Love Will Lift You Up, is an ideal affirmation for the situation of the world today. And the more that you focus on love from within, the more you can get through life's challenges in the most positive, constructive way. I didn't say it's going to be easy.
Got you. Well, we just happen to have a short taste of that song. Roll it, Tony.
Thank you.
If you listen, you can hear the sounds of angels that are all around, like a silent prayer. It's everywhere. There is sunshine through the rain. To feel the joy, we must know pain. What our eyes cannot see, our hearts can still believe. Love will lift you up. Love will lift you up. When life is getting rough, feel the love from up above. Love will lift you up.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Outstanding. Outstanding. Wow.
It was a joy to record this with my daughter, Missy Pekin. She's multi-talented. The biggest challenge we faced is that I ain't never heard of no metronome. Everything's got a special technique. When you're doing a virtual duet, she informed me that it's a good idea to use a metronome. But anyway, we didn't have that. So I feel it's a great sentiment anyway. And certainly she did a great job. And I sure do appreciate you playing that for me.
Indeed. Anytime we get an opportunity like to hear you, we take advantage of that opportunity, definitely.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now, we're getting a little run out of time right now, but here's a photo of you doing what you love to do so well, and that is you love to entertain. You can see on the picture there.
I love to entertain.
And before we get out of here, we got a song that you talked about, something about Grammy.
I want to win a Grammy before I am a Grammy. Right now, as far as I know, there is no bun in the oven, but I'm ready to give it a whole lot of loving. And this is a song that's my first country song ever, actually, that I wrote recently with Steve Rollins. And I'd love for y'all to listen to it and go to Spotify, YouTube, iTunes. We're all over the place with I Want to Win a Grammy Before I Am a Grammy. That's right. You gonna play it?
Yep.
Thank you.
Headed out from Tennessee with stardust in my eyes. Streets were paved with broken hearts, much to my surprise. I thought fame would come overnight. I thought I'd live the dream of singing in those whiskey bars with Jack Daniels and Jim Beam. I want to win a Grammy before I am a Grammy. I want to win a Grammy right now. I want to hold that statue, say he's looking at you. I want to take a proper bow. I'm ready for my close-up, time to grab that prize. I want to win a Grammy before I'm a Grammy.
You got to turn up.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent.
So much for listening. I hope your audience enjoys this song.
Indeed. Shelley Fisher, Hebrew hillbilly, 50 Shades of Oy Vey.
In the house.
Coming soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shelley. Thank you. This is The Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. The studio of Harvey Brandman Photography as an Art is proud to offer you a $100 discount off any photo package valued at $200 or more. Now, Harvey has been in the business for nearly a quarter of a century, and he certainly knows how to take care of his customers. So please, give him a call today at 818-954-9294. That's 818-954-9294. You'll be glad you did. And by the way, please tell Harvey that you heard about his offer right here on The Actor's Choice. Haiku, style, passion, heart. It's the latest release from author and attorney Ron Irwin. Now, the book was inspired by the author's first exposure to haiku well over a quarter of a century ago. His experience produced within him a deep passion to experience Asia, which he later did as a U.S. Marine. The book is available in paperback at lulu.com. That's lulu.com. And Irwin says he'll give 20% of net book sales split evenly between the veterans of foreign wars and Vietnam veterans of America. Book to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule. It's a book by author Larry Buford. It's a historical and faith-based account of how what we do and follow today will affect us tomorrow. Now, the author also calls it an adventure for those who want to travel back through town. The book is now available in paperback for only $17.95 from Amazon. So please get your copy today. And now, a word from State Farm agent Carla Green. Roll it.
Let me ask you something. What do you see when you look at your home and your car? Do you see a bundle? A combo deal? That's how other insurance companies see them. But a State Farm agent sees so much more. Because the State Farm agent sees your home and your car as more than just four walls and four wheels. They see the things you've worked really hard for. So why not give them the protection they deserve? Let me help you with that. Give me a call. State Farm agent Carla Green, 213-239-9675. I look forward to speaking with you.
For more information, call 213-239-9675. That's 213-239-9675. Attention all actors. An Actor Space provides classes and private coaching by veteran actor Rob Brownstein. Now, an Actor Space has Thursday night classes for working actors and Tuesday night foundation and technique classes for early career actors. The idea is to build on each actor's strengths and who you are to help refine and reimagine your acting and your career. For more information, contact class@robbrownstein.com or call him at 323-646-1268. That's 323-646-1268. Thank you. And finally, if you have a product, a service, or an upcoming event that you'd like to see advertised on this program, please call 323-533-1036. That's 323-533-1036. Our prices are very affordable. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. Roll it, Tony.
I do the selection of the plays, I do the marketing, I do the press release, I do just about everything that gets us ready for a production. Sometimes my day would start and answering emails. You know, I always get a load of questions and things that needed to be responded to. Sometimes I have to report to the board and give them a summary of what's been going on with the theater, how are ticket sales going. Sometimes I'm having a meeting with a playwright talking about their play, something that we might be considering to produce. Every day is a different challenge, it's a different thing, and sometimes it's really just talking to other artists and really finding out what's going on in the community. To be successful in this, artistic director has to be flexible and ultimately has to be fearless. The skills that
All right, you're back.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed an honor and a real pleasure to welcome my second guest today. Born and raised in the Philippines, when at the age of 15, he and his family was given asylum into Australia. He became interested in theater and studied acting in Sydney. He later came to the United States and founded the Playwright Arena. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John Lawrence Rivera. John, thank you very much for taking the time and coming out today.
I'm so happy to be here, Ron. Thank you so much for the invitation.
My pleasure, sir. It's quite a story that you've gone through in the early parts of your life. Have you been back to the Philippines since that time?
You know, the first time we went back since we've been back here was 30 years later. But since then, we've been back maybe every 2 or 3 years. Yeah, so it's been great.
Yes. Country, I've been there myself. I was in the Navy, and I was at Subic Bay. I was at Manila.
Yes, of course.
Great food. The food.
Oh my God. I hope that when we're able to go back and travel again, I can go and visit again soon.
Indeed. When I was reading you, getting ready for the show, and I read your biography, here's something I saw that you said, quote, "You found Playwrights Arena to provide and direct original works by Los Angeles playwrights." Well, obviously, playwrights at that time needed a place to do something. Can you tell us the story behind that?
Yeah, I mean, when we started Playwrights Arena, it was in 1992, right after the riots, the LA riots. And we thought that, you know, we needed to really support our artists in Los Angeles so that many stories can be told about our many diverse communities. And so in doing that, I wanted to present a company that does only LA playwrights and really honor those voices that really reflect the city of Los Angeles.
Interesting. Because your bio says you also stuck to this mission for over 20 years. That's a long time.
28 years now. Yes, yes. Thank you.
And again, like you said, surviving race riots, earthquakes, greedy landlords, I like that one, and the urgencies of little theaters. I love that. Explain that one, please.
It's always been a struggle for many small theaters, and no matter what happens, I think even what's going on now with COVID-19, I think ultimately we are resilient, and we will come out of it, and we will create whatever needs to be created, that will tell our stories. I don't think, I think it gives us a pause to really reflect on what we've done, and start to really think about how we're going to move forward, and how do we do this new form, of telling stories. And
Yeah.
maybe we go back to the old form, but there's an interim moment that's going to happen first before we go back to the norm.
That's what I've been telling a lot of my friends. I said, listen, rest easy. It could be worse. It could.
For sure, absolutely, it could definitely be worse. And I mean, with technology now, I mean, we're able to communicate with people. I'm able to hear stories through readings, through Zoom. So it's not like we're all alone in our homes and we can't get out, and we don't have phones, we don't have electricity. I mean, we have other resources right now that makes storytelling continue, even though we're not necessarily all together in one space.
And I was happy, I'm sure you were, to see that when this thing did hit, everybody was shocked. They didn't know what to do. I mean, when you darken Broadway, that says it all.
That's right. I mean, for us, for 28 years, our routine had always been in, with the actors working, rehearsing a show. You're always around people, and then once that's completed, then we invite the audience in. So we have a 50-seat theater, so we are always within about at least 12 feet of each other, no matter where you go. And so to take all of that out instantly, it's a little bit of a jolt. But we're processing it, and we are trying to figure out ways that we can engage our audience, because I think ultimately stories need to still be told.
Exactly. There's more. Speaking of stories, here's some more of your story. In the beginning, you were studying film directing at LA City College, and then you and three friends chipped in together, $500 each it was, bringing back
Yes.
some memories. Okay.
In 1984.
To
1984. Yeah.
Right. And what was the purpose of what we guys getting together for?
Well, we were young. We were in our early 20s, and $500 in 1984, it probably is like, I don't know, 3,000 now or something. But we saved our money, and four of us got together, and we just decided that we really wanted to present something professionally and not just be stuck at school. So we chipped in, and with $2,000 at the time, we were able to rent a theater for 4 weekends. Every labor that we got for that production was free. I mean, my brother was my sound, operator, and I had my mom taking tickets. I mean, everybody was doing free labor, and I directed two actors in it. Two of my friends were actors in two one-acts that we did, and so I directed the two of them in one play, and then my other friend directed them in another one act as well. So it was an experience that actually taught me a great deal about making opportunities for yourselves, because I always thought that, especially for a Filipino American director, I wasn't going to stick around and just wait for the phone to ring. I wasn't waiting for the taper or passing the playhouse to call and say, oh my God, we want you to direct this play. So we wanted to give that opportunity to ourselves, and thankfully, since 84, that production that we did got really nice notices, and so it snowballed from there. And then other opportunities came around, and by 92 I started Playwright Arena, and have been doing that for 28 years.
Speaking of Filipinos, as you know, there's a large population here in Southern California.
For sure.
Second largest in the world.
Yes, and we've been lucky because we have had we've had some playwrights, Filipino playwrights that we have produced. Bonnie Alvarez is one of them, and that's the play that we did a few years ago that we did in the 50-seat theater at Atwater Village, and then it moved to the Kirk Douglas Theater as part of the block party. So we were very, we were very glad that that was the show that got picked because it was really a very specific play about Filipino and Filipino Americans living in the Philippines.
I'm sure that as an Asian American, you were very proud at the Academy Awards this year with Parasite won Best Film.
I was rooting for it all the way through, so I was so glad that that happened. Such a powerful movie.
I'll shut up. I won't say anything about the reactions of a certain person. I'll leave that one.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about, right? In the early 19s, you told yourself that you had to find a play that you really wanted to do. You really wanted to do this play, and you rented out the Jean Dynarski Theater to do a play called Carla. And you had this lady, an unknown person at that time, Elizabeth Shue.
That's correct.
What do you do?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was that was the beginning of our history. We were doing. I was very passionate about this play, and it really just talked about women's rights and abortion, and especially because it's set in the 1950s when there were rules against all of that. So
yes,
because of the tragic consequences that happened with the story of Carla, I was so impassioned to really present that and give a voice to what had happened, and if the laws were never changed, what women have to go through to just to make some choices for themselves. And Elizabeth Shue at that time had done one or two movies. I think she's already done babysitting or something like that, The Adventures of the Babysitter. But she was very excited about the project, and we presented it. And 2 weeks later, after we opened, is when the riots started. And so it was at that point that we decided that we should really continue Playwrights Arena. At the time that we opened Carla, it was only as a one production thing that we were doing, and we weren't really thinking of creating Playwrights Arena as a long-term theater company at the time. And of course, once we worked with Elizabeth, after that she went on to other things, including an Academy Award nomination for Leaving Las Vegas, and she's been a very big supporter of Playwrights Arena all the way through, and still engages with us, so which is great.
Excellent. You've done, how many plays have you done?
My gosh, I was lecturing for USC one time, and they're the ones who said to me that I have already done about 70 plays at the time, and I was like, because I stopped counting after I don't know, I mean after like 20 or 30, I'm like, well, who really has the time to really count along? But somebody had counted and this was maybe 3 or 4 years ago. They said, oh my God, you've done 70 some shows, and I'm like, wow. I mean, I guess in 20 some years, and if you do 4 or 5 per year, then I guess it would come up to that. So
one of the plays you did was Baby Eagles.
Yes, Baby one? Eyes. You mean Baby Eyes?
Okay.
Yeah. And yes, Baby Eyes. And we that was a beautiful project that we did with an African American playwright, Donald Jolly. We did his first play called Bonded about 5 years before that. And with Playwrights Arena, we want to keep nurturing our playwrights. We're not like, we present you once and then we don't want to talk to you again and goodbye and go on and do whatever you want to do. So we continually ask for other material that they have, and Donald had written this play which is really an intense story between a very young boy and a mature man, and a white boy and a African American older boxer, that falls in love. And so it was a very heartwarming story. I mean, nothing happened physically between the two of them, but because it was again set in the 50s, just the implication that he was in the same room with the boy and whatever else, that they were alone, and all of a sudden, people get have tragic consequences. And it's unfortunate that even though that happened in the 50s, that now in 2020 things like that still happens. Whatever it's, a white person says something about an African American or a person of color, somehow the white person's point of view is the one that's always the respected. So things haven't changed, and I know it's changing gradually, but it's, that's why we keep reminding people that whatever is happening now is are things that have been happening for quite a while, and we keep making sure that we reflect those stories to what's happening today in our time, because it's, there's a lot of them that resonate still, and I think we should never forget those stories.
John, you've done so many plays. Where do you get your ideas from?
Well, to me, as a person of color, a lot of the plays that comes through Playwright's arena, um, the ones that really get to me are stories about immigration, about belonging, and it can be belonging as a family, belonging as a culture, belonging as society. Because I feel that there's a lot of people that feels displaced, and as a Philippine American coming to the United States, I mean, I feel very comfortably with my life, all since we arrived here so many years ago, 40 some years ago. But I just feel like there are many challenges that people don't understand about somebody who is of a different color, and so I try to really grab onto those stories and find a way to tell those truths, because I think that's what's important in our time, is to reflect on those issues and enlighten people. Sometimes people just needed to be reminded that that is what's going on with other people and other lives, and what can we do about that.
Which makes me say to ourselves, why do we as people go to plays?
That's right. I mean, I think there is always there's a hunger for entertainment, which is great, but the icing on that cake is that you get entertained, you get moved, you get impassioned about the story, and you learn something. And I think that to me, I always say to my board of directors and my associates, that I said, when my audience leaves my theater, I don't want them to turn to each other and say, "Do you want Chinese or Italian?" I would like them to turn to each other and say, "Oh my God, what do you think about that story? What happened to that? Why do you think, what could I have done different as a person? What would you have done different?" That's the conversation I want to have, and not, should we go to Thai and get some Thai food, or should we go get, I mean, I want them to be thinking about it. And the best thing that could happen to any audience members of mine is that 5 days later is that they might be having dinner. Someone goes, I saw this play, and I wondered what it means by being this. And when people are talking and thinking about that story, I've done my job. If they forget about it by the time they drive out of that parking lot and they already are thinking of something else, then I haven't done my job. I want to engage them. I want them to think about it, so that it has a longer effect than just being entertained for an hour and a half or two.
John got another play for you. We call it Bloodletting.
Yes, that's the play that Bonnie Alvarez wrote, and it is about two siblings, Filipino American siblings, going back to the Philippines and to scatter the ashes of their father. And but there is a mystical part element to the story, because in the Philippines there is this myth, or although some people say that it's actually true, that there is an aswang, and aswang is like a witch, or it's a witch that could travel and can fly. I mean, usually the stories that we've heard as a child is that they decapitate themselves and they leave half of their body in the ground, and then the other half flies off to the moon. So now this is a story and all this time when I was growing up, I just assumed it was a story that my grandmother would say just to bring us back into the house, because she would say when we would visit her in the province, she'd say, "You better come back into the house, or else the aswang will get you."
Right.
And so this is something that the Filipinos know that this exists, or somehow it exists, whether it's real or not. And so Bodhi incorporated this myth into the story, and it was just beautifully layered. And even though the context of it is about this witch, the real subtext of it is the relationship between the brother and the sister, and who is more aggressive about the relationship, and who sits back, and how each other feels about each other, and favoritism in the family. And so it was really a beautiful play, and we were very, very successful in presenting it, first at the 50-seat theater in Atwater Village, and then moving on to the Kirk Douglas.
You just got a few more minutes, but one thing I'd like
Yeah.
to show everybody before you leave is that you have an organization in your organization called the Andrea Cockrum Theater for Students. Now we got a tape. Can I roll it? Tell me to roll that tape for us right quick. Get a chance to see what it's all about.
Bloodletting is really about a brother and sister relationship. Two Filipino Americans go back to the Philippines to spread the ashes of their father in a remote island called Palawan. When they go there, this program by Playwright Arena, the Andrea Cockrum Theater for Students, was designed to encourage students to write a play and to present them to the public.
John called me and said, "Do you want to come down and teach at this wonderful charter school that Andrea, who is on his board of directors for Playwright Arena, is on the board of directors here?" So I said, "Sure, let's try it." I started because right at that point in the news was about all the Syrian refugees. And I thought, what a great place to start. Let's talk about what it would be to lose your home, to have your home, what your dream home is. What is the thing you would take with you if you had to leave your home?
That's great. Yeah. That's what I wanted people to see. That is a great opportunity to taking the next generation.
I truly believe that to nurture to make theater survive, we have to nurture our young audiences and really give them the skills to understand theater. And our workshops give them a chance to really write the stories and perform those stories, which gives them a sense of understanding of what performance really means. So it's been a really great experience for us.
We ran out of time, but I got to ask you this one more question. It's something that you need in your business, fundraising. Can you tell everybody how the help is what you need, please?
Well, the best way to help us is to go to our website, which is www.playwrightsarena.org, and there is you can find out about our productions, past productions, and if you need to help us, there is a button to support. So we hope that you would do that, and so that we can continue the work that we've been doing at Playwrights Arena.
Thank you, John. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much, Ron.
Here today. We got to bring you back again. We just got
Please, absolutely, anytime. Just let me know.
A whole bunch of questions. I haven't even touched them yet.
Let me know anytime. I'm here for you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
Thank you
very much. Thanks to our sponsors, Harvey Brandman, Photography is an Art, Ron Irwin's Haiku, Style, Passion, Heart, Larry Buford's Book to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, State Farm agent Carla Green, and Rob Brownstein's Actor Training School and Actor Space. Much thanks to our guest today, actress, singer Shelley Fisher, and founder, artistic director of Playwrights Arena, John Lawrence Rivera. And of course, special thanks to our ever-growing audience. Be well. We'll see you the next time.